drives the ball up there towards the full.
The tradition of the Shaw dynasty continues at Collingwood with the emergence of Rhys Shaw.
Look at this young man show us some athletic ability and running away from the full back line, Rhys Shaw.
But to emulate the feats of his famous father and uncles, Rhys knows there's a lot of hard work ahead.
I played a couple of Ansett Cup games and I really wanted to play at least 10 senior games. But with the collarbone injury, it's taken a bit longer to realise that.
He also understands the pressure that comes with pulling on a Collingwood Guernsey. But as far as Rhys is concerned, there is only one club.
I was given the option whether to come here or not under the father-son rule, and I took it straight away because it's the only club I wanted to play for.
Tonight, Rhys Shaw will wear his beloved Magpie Guernsey with pride as Collingwood take on Coburg Fitzroy in Monday Night Football.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Waverley Park on a wet and wintry night. You have got the best seat in the house tonight on C7 Sport for the clash between Collingwood and Coburg Fitzroy. It is 10th versus 15th, and as you can see, it is a rainy old night. Peter Dacos, I bet you're glad to be up here.
No, I'm not. I'd rather be down there because I'll tell you why. You got half a chance to warm up. I don't think we're even going to get off first base here, but it is good to be here, though, more importantly.
Well, I'll tell you one fella who'd be delighted to be up here rather than down there, and he could have been down there tonight, is Simon Hawking from the Magpies. Simon, welcome.
Thanks, Peter. I was going to be down there, but not altogether unhappy about being up here.
Yeah, I think you've pulled the right rein and you've pulled a hammy too. Is that the problem at the moment?
Yeah, it's pulled a hammy, so another week, I think.
Of course, the big talking point tonight is going to be Sav Rocker, where he'll line up. Ground conditions, well, they're always very good out here at Waverley Park. Wonder if the rain's had any effect. We'll find out because we're heading down to the ground. And look at those boys. It is torrential at the moment. And Crackers Keenan is going to have a look at the ground conditions in a moment. First of all, let's have a look at the ladder. And there you can see, as I mentioned, that it is 10th versus 15th. Collingwood having secured 5 wins already this season. And their wins have come in rounds 1, 2, 6, 8 and 9. Coburg Fitzroy have scored 2 victories in rounds 2 and 5. And we saw them here a couple of weeks ago. I wonder where they will play Sav Rocker tonight, Dakes.
Well, I was speaking to Simon concerning this. I mean, we know he's capable of kicking goals. I'd rather see him out getting a few touches up the ground, Simon, and more importantly, trying to work into a little bit of form and probably doing a bit of ruck work as well.
I could have had a sneak look at the board before, but I didn't. But I'm not exactly sure what they've got in mind for him, whether they want him to get his confidence back in front of the goals, kicking goals, or whether they want him to move around and perhaps get amongst the play a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure what their idea is, but you're right, it could be a good idea to see him up the field a bit.
Well, it's certainly not going to be a night where he's going to take a lot of overhead marks, is it?
Well, that's the thing. And look, his greatest key, I think a lot of his goals do come being able to lead well up the ground, I suppose, be given that space. He's playing with a lot of kids that haven't played around Sav, so I'd rather see him up the ground, getting a few touches, getting in amongst it. Let's say the conditions aren't going to suit him, as you mentioned, Donis.
We spent a bit of time talking about Collingwood. Let's not forget Coburg Fitzroy, and isn't it great to see the old Fitzroy jumper out there? We saw the side here on Monday Night Football a couple of weeks ago, and they wore the other strip. This is the strip they're going to wear when they meet AFL teams, and isn't it wonderful to see it out there?
Well, it is, and more importantly, our guest Simon Hawking actually wore the Fitzroy jumper
60
sign.
times.
Yeah, a number of years. Yes, down there, and it really is. It really is the genuine old Fitzroy jumper.
So it is good to see, as you said, Donners, and it's good to see that the football club hasn't been entirely lost, and at least we've got a little bit of the club remaining.
You know what else is good to see? The Crackers is here with us, and I'm sure you're loving every minute of it. Good evening.
Good evening.
Where are you? Oh, there you are.
I'm just down here now. Now there's 6 slips open at Buller for the weekend. There's only 2 open here tonight. Oh, look, it's terrible.
There he is.
I've been to places. I played out here at Arctic Park, but fair dinkum, it takes the cake. The ground's in great condition, but there are people here, Eskimos that won't come out. There's huskies that are even howling.
Well, you're going to have to come up into the stands tonight, Crackers, to do some interviews, and you'll probably be a bit torn. Your boys out there playing for Coburg Fitzroy, but of course you had a great association moving the cones at Victoria Park for many years.
About 10 years, and it's great to see blokes like Gav Kasiska out there, Dates' teammate, and one of the great people. And I just saw it, as he ran past, I said, best of luck, Dates. Spanker, and he said, isn't it great to be out here, Crackers?
Good on you, Crackers. Well, we'll let you get up in the dry. Hopefully we'll be joining Crackers if he doesn't get washed away. There is the Collingwood lineup. Some very familiar faces there.
Well, familiar faces, and more importantly, a lot of experience in that team when you consider Stephen Patterson's there. Nick Davis spent a little bit of time in that senior team last season. McKee's there. Reece Shaw, we've seen him on the ISO earlier, and he's plenty of promise from him coming back from that injury. Gav Krasiska, you've got Johnson Kinnear with senior experience, Tyson Lane, Brad Oborne's played, nippy forward as well, Sav Rocker, so extensive list of experience.
And there is the Coburg Fitzroy lineup with Steve McPherson, Super McPherson, the man in charge tonight, Sam Keenan carrying the number 1. I was quite taken a couple of weeks ago, Dakes, with Ben Canning, who played very well across the midfield. Anthony Alessio gives them some sort of target up in front of goals. And I thought too, number 41, Brent Dryden, was very good across half-back. So there are just some of the players to watch for Coburg Fitzroy tonight. You would think that the Magpies would go in pretty warm favourites, but anything can happen in these sort of conditions. Well, let's have a look at the players to watch tonight, just some of them. And first of all, we start off with the man that we've been talking about, the man who's kicked more than 500 goals for the Magpies.
Well, he's been a terrific player for the Pies, and I get a little bit disappointed people. He may be at the crossroads, but there's still a lot of football left in this guy, without a doubt. Look, a proven goal scorer, but all he's lacking at the moment is confidence. Ben Johnson, well, he spent a little bit of time early in the season in the seniors as a forward, across half forward, can take a mark and is known to kick a goal. There's one right on screen there.
Yeah, that was in the first game of the year against Hawthorn at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Jason Lappin is a player who also impressed a couple of weeks ago. Likes to run with the football, and he's a long kick too, and generally an accurate kick. And I think you'll see a fair bit of him in the action tonight. Watch out for him carrying number 3. And, of course, Crackers boy, Sam. And when we saw him here a couple of weeks ago, Dukes, he really looked a player.
Well, I actually wasn't at the game, but look, it's great to see Sammy out there because, look, he did a lot of growing up around Collingwood when his dad was down there, and all I can remember is Sammy Keenan with that footy under his arm, and you hear it all the time, but he never had a footy out of his hand, and I used to really take a lot of joy in seeing him out there this evening.
I wonder if he's as cheeky as his old man. The Magpies are warming up, Coburg Fitzroy are warming up, and hope you're nice and warm because it's a cool one at Waverley. We'll be back with the opening bounce on C7 Sport after this break. Just about ready for a start, Monday night football at Waverley Park, and Fitzroy are kicking with the Tide. And they will kick to the left of screen, to the big scoreboard end.
I just want to ask Simon, who will be coaching the Pies? Because you have a rotation system there.
Yes, we have a rotation system with the 3 coaches. Michael Broadbridge has got the job tonight.
So away we go, Monday night footy. And Gardner gets the first tap for Collingwood. Taken away in the middle of the ground by number 39 in Roach. It's going to be a scrambly old game tonight, and you would expect that. Tackling's going to be important. Ben Johnson gets it, flips out the hand pass out towards Scotland. Came back in the direction of Brad Oborne. Here's Reece Shaw. Tries to kick it off the ground. Coburg Fitzroy with the numbers, though, and they're able to repel the attack momentarily. Standing in the way is Lee Sheehan. He's unable to get a handle on the footy. And not too many players will be able to tonight because we've had torrential rain for about the last 15-20 minutes here. Tatora handballing backwards. His man wasn't able to keep his feet. David Weston gets the kick away. Only as far as Heath Scotland. He takes the mark at half-back for the Magpies.
So Heath goes into the middle of the ground. He's got Gav Krasiska. A lot of experience there. Goes back inboard. So fiddling around with the ball at the moment. The Pies, Nick Davis, he's well tackled. A lot of pressure at the moment. Coburg Fitzroy trying to go forward, across half forward. The Pies are in there. That could have been too high. No. Bailed up. Stephen Patterson's there.
Big slap away came from Gardner towards half forward. Let's see if the Magpies can do something here through Ben Johnson. He hoists it high up towards the 50. Comes to the ground. Dryden again. Repelling it across half back. Krasiska building the wall. Up in the middle of the ground. Did it very well. Smothered it. Got it off to Reece Shaw. Uses the acceleration. Kicks it long.
Great kick.
Stephen Patterson up flying from behind. Knocked down by Bakulis. Coming in to meet it was Biggs. Little toe poke. Only as far as Johnson. 25 out. Kicks the first goal of the match. They've worked pretty hard for it, the Magpies, and they've got it. So Collingwood takes the lead, 1-1-7. Coburg Fitzroy 2 behinds. We're 17 minutes into the first quarter. Opportunist goal there from Ben Johnson.
Now, isn't that a famous name? Ben Johnson, but he did well, Simon.
He did. He's got a very dangerous left foot kick, Ben Johnson. We can probably trace that goal back to Reece Shaw coming through the middle there. He kicked it long. Not an ideal kick usually, the torpedo punt, but under these conditions, putting the defence under pressure, and the goal resulted. So finally, the boys are on the board with a major.
That's what they did. Gardner knocked it down. Johnson dancing around, did well, gave it off to Lane. Lane to Patterson. Patterson tried to pick it up. Keenan was sweating on him. Johnson over the top to Scotland. Scotland's left foot kick into the pocket. Mark taken there by McKee, marking it as though it was a dry ball. It's got a tough kick coming up here from 30 metres on a tight angle. It'd be tough with a dry ball, but in these conditions, very difficult. All right, here's McKee after a long delay from 30 metres out, and as you'd expect, he didn't make the distance after all that. Probably had too much time to think about it. There's a snap from Nick Davis, and that's through. So a good goal. Magpies have got the second one, and they come from everywhere to congratulate Nick Davis. Good hands off the pack. Collingwood has 2, and they are like gold in these conditions. Collingwood 2-2, Coburg Fitzroy 2 behinds.
Well, here's that kick again, and being punched at the face of goal, so a dangerous posse, but that is a terrific goal, and I think more importantly, because he did it after picking it up, he did it after taking 2 steps, so he didn't need too much room to execute a terrific kick.
His old man will be watching tonight.
Big buffer, and Jude, his mum, be sitting back at home.
Great fans of C7 football.
Going to Coburg Fitzroy. So I think it's open lander. He'll go short. So they'll retain possession through Canning, who gets nailed. So, and I agree with that. There was no need for it, especially in the conditions. The ball was gone, and it was against Danny Roach of the Pies coming in. Yes, and a little bit too high as well. That ball was gone, and Canning was on his way down. So Coburg Fitzroy with an opportunity through Sean Ryan. Just hope he makes a distance. He does, and he does it well. So Coburg Fitzroy kicked their first goal of the evening, and it was a good one in the end. Sean Ryan was the player, and they moved to 1-2-8. The Pies are 2-2-14, but there's that incident again. Danny Roach just coming in, and that is a no-no in football these days.
Yeah, I think Roachy might get a little bit of a talking to at quarter time. I don't think the coach would be overly impressed with that so late in the quarter.
I think so, Simon. When you consider, I mean, 6 pointers, I mean, it's very hard to be trying to win possession, a standing shot possession from 15, 20 metres. They are going to be like gold this evening in our own AFL competition.
Oh, yeah. And even if he was sponsored, watch him get dragged by the coach when he does it.
Oh, it's a goal. It is a goal. Brad Oborn.
Yep. Well done.
So, with a minimum of fuss, the Pies able to win possession. And as Donners, you were going on about that sponsorship thing, the Pies have been able to score.
You brought it up.
Geez, he did well here. Got around, shrugged one tackle, balked another guy, got it in long, and with Sav playing up the ground, that ball hits a goal square. And as you said, Simon, before the thing, no deviation and just ran in a straight line. So terrific goal from Brad Oborn.
He knows where they are, Brad.
Think you can win it?
I think we can. Getting better and better as the game progresses, mate.
Keep rugged up, Sess. We don't want you to catch cold. Back to you, Peter. He looks bad at the moment.
And so do you.
So this is 50-metre penalty, and this is what I was speaking about earlier. This is just a no-no in conditions like this. I suppose they're just as bad in dry, but this is really pretty hard on the team. Ben Nelson trying to run off.
Ben Johnson.
What do I say? Nelson.
Wait till I kick it.
Who is Ben Nelson at Carlton?
Yeah.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Yep.
Well,
that was actually good thinking
Johnson
there from Ben Johnson.
Back one on it.
You can tell us after this, because this sails right through the middle, and it ends up another Collingwood goal. So that is their third for the quarter. We're only 10 minutes into this second quarter, and the Pies move it out to 5-4-34. There it is on screen. 26 points in front of Coburg Fitzroy, who are on 1-2-8.
And there are some of the boys enjoying the lovely conditions out here at Waverley Park tonight and seeing themselves on the big screen. And that was good thinking, Simon, from Ben Johnson, because he saw the Coburg Fitzroy players were slow and going back to take the mark, so he wanted to get the footy and just run on.
Can't afford to be undisciplined at all.
Well, I think you'd probably add they've scored a goal from it, 50-metre, and probably scored about 8 points in the game. But here's a goal.
Patterson. Stephen Patterson kicking the goal. Good punch from behind. Keenan was in front, but the punch came from the back, came straight down to Patterson, and he doesn't miss them too often from that range. If you had a set shot with Stephen Patterson, as we see the big punch coming from Sav at the back. Good disciplined play. Their set shot at that distance should sort of be a bit 50-50, but on the run, he doesn't miss them too often.
Probably quicker than the Ray and Tony. A lot quicker and terrific skills.
Quicker than the two of them combined,
although his dad wasn't bad. Yeah. His dad had pretty good skills. It'll come out, and a chance for Coburg Fitzroy straight over the goal umpire's head. It's straight through the middle, and Ben Canning has kicked the goal. So a much-needed goal for Coburg Fitzroy as we fast approach half-time. So they're out to 2-3-15. They still trail by 26 points. The Pies 6-5-41. Here's that Reece Shaw on that outer side, half-back. Did well to get around a couple, possibly a little bit trying to do a bit too much. At the same time trying to control it. But more importantly, Ben Canning able to put the second goal on the board for Coburg Fitzroy. Much needed goal, and as it suggests there, his first goal of the game. And players throwing themselves in, and we'll have a ball up across half forward for Coburg Fitzroy.
Tell you what we might even do. We're going to do a series here on C7 Sport, AFL Blockbusters, and we're going to look back at some of the great games over the past years. I might try and drag Barmy in one day and have a look at that famous grand final. Would that be all right?
You're going to try and drag him in?
I'll have a talk to him at half-time and see if he wants to come in.
About 5 or 6 of us to help you? Try and drag him in?
I think I might need it. Anyway, it's half-time here at Waverley Park, and the rain continues to fall. Magpies have done pretty well, lead by 27, which in the conditions is probably equivalent to double that lead. So at half-time it is 6-6 to 2-3, and the goal kickers for Collingwood. Johnson's got a couple, Davis has got a couple, Oborne and Patterson have one each, and the goals for Coburg Fitzroy have been kicked by Ryan and Canning. There's Big Sav having a shot in that quarter and missing. They go in at half-time. Will they have a shower at half-time?
Oh, you can back it in. The boys will have a hot shower and change the strip, probably definitely change the jumper, probably change the socks and maybe even the shorts as well.
So it could be a bit of Tats Lotto going on at half-time, because you never know, they might be changing into different numbers. So it might be interesting for us when we come back, but the Magpies have a handy lead as they go to the rooms, and Dakes heads off for a nice warm coffee. We head to a break on Monday Night Football on C7 Sport.
Trying to save a little bit of percentage here because there's no one inside 50 or over the from the centre back towards their goal. There is not one player. They're all in Collingwood's 50 virtually, bar about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 players.
Yep. And the option inside for Heath Scotland was Steve McKee, both of whom have been in the seniors of late.
So Collingwood have to do us a favour and kick a goal, otherwise we're never going to see this ball get outside 50. Collingwood's 50, that is.
45 metres the kick. Distance not a problem. And he's got it.
Goal.
Yep, so that's an important one. And all the players having to drift back towards the centre, as Dake said. So Collingwood's got its 7th goal and gets out to a 33-point lead, 7-7 to 2-4, 13 minutes into this third quarter.
Well, Heath Scotland, normally good user of the ball, isn't he, Simon? On that occasion, hitting the mark again.
He's got good skills on both sides, Heath Scotland, and that's a great goal from Steve McKee out there. He's got good skills for a big fella.
He came to ground, so he did well. Kept control. Sam Anstey goes across, so they come back to the side of the ground they started. Tyson Lane goes in short, so they're using it well. Heath Scotland well down the ground. So over to Ben Nelson. Ben Johnson, I should say. I've got something about number 31 of the Pies. And you were hoping I'd do that. You had a big grin on your face.
Didn't
so
say
Ben
a word.
Johnson with that familiar left foot.
Kicked me in the ankle last
Simon, would you? I need a little bit of support out. There's a good kick. Nick Davis eyes on the ball. And that was a terrific mark. He's had a good night, Nick Davis. So
maybe we'll just start calling him Ben Nelson at training. He might just get that.
Jeez, and that's a nice goal too. Very good goal. So that's his 3rd. And certainly one of the strengths of Nick Davis's game.
What about
similar to his dad is his ability around goal.
What about the gloves there, Dakes? We see Nick Davis, he's got the fingers cut out of his. We see some players with 2 and some players just wear the 1. What do you think about the gloves?
Simon, well, the thing is, I suppose when I was playing, they weren't around. I mean, have you
I've never tried them.
Not even a training?
No, I've never pulled one on. I thought I'll stick with what I've got. But
well, they say that it does help, I suppose, and they do say in wet conditions a lot better because leather on leather does stick, and that's what it's meant to do, I suppose, just give you that extra bit of grip. But again, they're just failing to really get the ball in deep and get some penetration. Far too high on Weston, who has changed the strip. Martello's in there.
Oh.
So in they go, the boys. Good to see. Oh, and they're throwing him too. Don't worry about that. No sidestepping this one. So Dryden was in there, picking himself up is Biggs. And young Anthony Martello may get the ball.
Flag! Hold it! Yeah, hold the ball! Hold the ball!
There's a report here.
They weren't holding back there, were they?
Well, that was a free kick for too high, and then it was Biggs going in over the top.
Brent Dryden's been reported, I think.
Weston not too happy.
Is that the Coburg or the Fitzroy coming out in them dates?
Well, the Fitzroy U boys were prone to throw a couple here and there. Give me that smirk.
I don't think we had too many trips to the tribunal, did we?
No, I think we felt sorry for you guys.
Yeah, sadly, that could be it.
No, it's a shame that you give it away so easily.
Oppenlander, clearing kick in the direction of Ryan. Siren sounds, so the boys doing something to keep warm just before three-quarter time, and there is Brent Dryden getting the instructions from Steve McPherson up in the coach's box. He certainly showed a fair bit of aggression in that little passage of play, and he'll be fronting the judiciary. 8-12 plays 2-5, Collingwood by 43. They kicked 2 goals, 6 in that quarter. Collingwood had all of the footy, and Coburg Fitzroy kicked just the 2 behind. So the game looks safely in Collingwood's keeping. Gavin Krasiska just having a word to the umpires at three-quarter time, trying to work out exactly the interpretation of some of the rules and what's been going on. So they head to the huddle. We'll head to the huddle with Crackers as well. And when we come back, we'll check in on what the coaches had to say at three-quarter time of Monday Night Football. It's the Pies by 43. Let's hear what Steve McPherson had to say in the Coburg Fitzroy huddle at three-quarter time.
We've been together, but fair dinkum, that was just crap. All right, now, pure and simple, it is absolute crap. What's happened is you've had a basic lesson in basic football. Okay? How to hold a bloke up on the mark, you know, how to get the ball on quickly themselves, square it up, switch the play, you know, support each other so they can release someone to go forward. You know, our half-backs and our backs just aren't watching anyone come through. It is just crap. And it's been highlighted with Dryden's performance. You know? Frustration, mate. You know, you've got to feel it, but you've got to control it, all right? That is just absolute rubbish. That lowers you as a bloke and as a footballer. It demeans us as a club. That proves nothing. You resort to violence, you've already lost, okay?
So Steve McPherson not mincing his words there at three-quarter time and singling out Brent Dryden, who was reported late in that quarter. We're away in the last quarter. Trying to barge his way through is Houcher. Comes out, taken away by Coburg Fitzroy by Canning. To the back, Ryan. Paddles it along in front of him, off the ground, left foot goal.
That's a great goal.
Well done. They've got their third. Terrific effort by Sean Ryan at the back. Good kick too by Canning to get it to the back of the pack. And so we've got a 40-point ball game, and here it is in replay.
Great kick by Canning, and that's what it's all about. In the conditions, just get it on. Rarely should you be trying to direct it to a player unless the player's on his own, and really you kick it in long and really just make your teammates run onto the ball. That's what you should be looking for. Penetration is a key to the game. He got it in long, and in the end Ryan made do with really what was made available, and he did well, knew where the goals were, no one in the square. Soft now and kicking to a man that's under pressure. Tyson Lane does well to get it to Oborne, who'll kick to the top of the square. Another chance at the Pies from behind. Going up, Dimartina's got it. So 4 possessions, Coburg Fitzroy. They went backwards.
Dimmer, you're on the right line.
Really, you're not going to open the game up. When you do go backwards and across the ground, what you're looking for is short passes to try and open the opposition up. In the conditions, really, his first preference should have been to have gone back up the ground, Willoughby, and made a contest of it.
21st disposal coming up.
He's done well. So I think he's kicked this goal. As you can see, Andrew Dimartina has the last laugh. That's his first goal of the evening. He's tried certainly around goal a few times. He's had the ball smothered, but has finally got himself on the goal-kicking list. Bakulis and his Coburg Fitzroy teammates just going backwards. And again, that short pass with a player with under pressure is a silly one.
Good kick in from Oborn too, Simon.
Yeah, it was a good square up to the top of the square, and Dimmer, good grab there, and I think he just informed his teammate that he did in fact kick the goal there at the end.
Yeah. But the part though,
what do you get have it?
Hey, Crackers, tell him to get me the part.
He wants a party, didn't he? We're not going to argue over a part now. Ed, how the boys gone out here?
No, under the conditions, I think they've gone extremely well, actually.
And Zav?
Sav's done very well, actually. Yeah.
Kasiska?
Kasiska, sensational. Done a great job.
You were involved in a fight in 1990 at quarter time, weren't you?
No, mate, I tried to get away from it, actually, but they caught me. I couldn't run. I was a very slow runner in those days.
Well, I'll let you go because you might whack me. Back to you, Peter. He's absolutely living legend. Him and Billy Cook, they're icons.
Sean Ryan has got the chance for his third goal of the night after
good kick.
Good transference of play by Coburg Fitzroy. So Ryan's got another one. And that's a bit of encouragement for Coburg Fitzroy. They get it back to a 40-point ball game again at the 11.5-minute mark. 9:15 plays 4-5. And we watch it again in replay. And again, it was Canning doing the damage through half forward in the midfield. Another good kick to Ryan, who kicked the goal from the angle. As we watch that in replay, I think Eddie Hillgrove actually was banned from going on the ground for a little while after that 1990 grand final altercation.
Well, I think he got 12 months actually, and yeah, it's good to see Ed still at the club. He's been there for quite a few years. I still don't know what he does, but he's still down there. I think he's team manager. I think he's the last few years he's been the Collingwood team manager. But down to that large scoreboard end, which has left the screen naturally. Pye's running now, sharing the ball around. Stone, who in that little bit had 3 or 4 touches. They get it into half forward. Tyson Lane's back on the ground, so he's got under their guard, goes inboard, kicking to no one. Big Sammy Keenan picking it up, just blazing back. Tyson Lane will get it out. Brad Oborn will go a goal. Don't worry about this. And kick a beauty.
And he still maintains his record, not one handball, and he's had 22 kicks.
Oh, well.
I've been waiting for him to block the book, but he hasn't done it yet.
Well, it was a good goal, and I think the certainly a pleasing feature of the Collingwood game has been 25 shots at goal, and that total comprises 10 goals, 15, 75 to Coburg Fitzroy, 4-6-30. That's a 45-point lead. Brad Oborn on screen. And as any good forward, he's...
Didn't see anyone else apart from the goals.
That's right, and he takes a leap out of his dad's book because Roddy's dad, I played with him in the twos in 78, and I can guarantee you he used me as a dummy on about 3 or 4 occasions.
And Oborn now, 23 kicks, no handballs. And there you can see quite clearly over when Tyson Lane took the mark. Tucky. Sorry, Dokes.
No, I was just going to say I'll wait till there's a lull.
Here's Oborn again. Now, will he handball? No. And neither he should, because he just chipped a pass, took out the lob wedge, gave it to Martello, and Martello marks it 25 metres out.
Well, it was a great kick in the end. Yep. Look, I think in the conditions, certainly Brad's game, I think, has been suited the conditions. I think hasn't finessed with the ball or tried to overuse it. He's been pretty direct. I suppose a lot of times he's got it within scoring range, so you can't really have a go at him for having a shot.
Martello hasn't kicked a goal yet. Should rectify the situation here. He kicks from 30 metres, leans
nice
back,
kick,
and just didn't try and kick the cover off it. Beautiful direction. Martello's got his first, and Collingwood moves even further ahead. Difference is now 50 points, 11-15 to 4-7, and we're almost 24 minutes into the final quarter.
Well, he shows a little bit of form, young Anthony Martello. I'm quite impressed. I think certainly may have a little bit of a future there.
Good running,
still got a long way to go, naturally, but he puts himself in, and in the conditions, Simon, he's really impressed me, I suppose. He has put himself in.
Yeah, nice relaxed shot at goal there, steered it through, and plays his footy at North Heidelberg when he's not down at Collingwood. They breed him pretty tough down there, don't they?
Yeah.
North it would be, but he's up to 25 kicks now without a handball.
Well, Crackers, we've got a message for you down there. Please tell the Collingwood runner to tell Brad at all costs.
Oh, that was a handball.
No, it wasn't.
25 and 1.
Ball spilled free. Krosiska, we'll get back to that in a moment. Heath Scotland snaps at goal.
It's another one.
It. Collingwood's got 12, and they're finishing off in style, and there's a bit going on there with Brad Oborn. And they're just coming up and saying, now, Brad, why haven't you handball? And he's saying, look, it's my business, so just leave me alone, will you? And the margin's 56 points. There it is. And that wasn't a handball. I'm sure it won't go down in the stats as a handball.
No, well, there's another one. Brad Oborn, I remember, you know, I used to see a lot of him when he was a little boy. just a young fella, and I really, it's very hard to take it in that he's playing in the Collingwood jumper now, and he's grown up. Geez, it's very hard. The other one is Sam Keenan, as I mentioned. Now I think I think he might have found one actually. So Sharpen, harder work to be done just now because he's kicking from about 45. It'll go close, and Tucky I think might have marked it. Yes, he's got it. So Brent Tucky, who hasn't taken a hell of a lot of overhead marks. I suppose the conditions haven't suited him. He'll go back.
Fourth
kick from the goal square. And look, he shows a lot of promise, Brent Tucky. I think if there's an area of his game that he's got to tighten up, he's terrific. He will lead, he will take good mark. His kicking lets him down.
He has to do, well, he does do a lot of work on his kicking, but like you say, he does lead up very hard and he presents himself, and that's one area of his game that he's very good at. But he just needs to be just around a little bit more, just to get a little bit more experience, and he'll be a good player.
I think he will. He needs, he looks like he's bulked up a little bit, but here's that mark. Jeremy Sharpen did well to go straight at the ball. Was third man up behind Dimatina, a Coburg Fitzroy player, but here's that kick landing in the square, and Tucky up, and a little bit disappointing when you're a metre from the goal line that the Coburg Fitzroy players, there's no real sense of urgency and to get that ball through for a minor score. Over throw in with Coburg Fitzroy just cribbing forward. We're 29 minutes into this last quarter, so Donners, one more minute of cold, I'd say.
Yeah, Maggies have kicked 5 goals and Coburg Fitzroy's kicked 2 in the last quarter, so we'll have a little bit of time on. Not too much more, you wouldn't think.
So, at ground level, and there it is.
Now let's hope that
still
calmer heads prevail.
Again, Martello and Husha, I should say. So, hasn't been a good night for Coburg Fitzroy, Donners.
No, there's the final score. Collingwood 13-16, Coburg Fitzroy 4 goals 7. In fact, they kicked 1 goal in the first quarter, 1 goal in the second quarter, and 2 goals in the last quarter, Coburg Fitzroy. And there's Sav, who finished up with 12 disposals, 6 marks for the night. Didn't kick a goal. The major goal kickers for Collingwood. 3 goals to Nick Davis and a couple to Johnson and Oborn. And the main goal kicker for Coburg Fitzroy, well, they only had 2. Ryan got 3 and Canning got 1. So a pretty comprehensive victory in the end. In trying conditions, Simon Hawking, I think they'd be reasonably happy with a 10-goal margin.
Yeah, I think it's a good result. It's a great level of these conditions, and any time you have a margin as great as that, I think it's a good result. The boys played pretty well, I think, given it was so wet and slippery, and the system seemed to come along, didn't it? It was a little bit scrappy early, but the boys really put together some good passages of play there in the second half in particular.
I think so, and I think, look, any win is a good win, I suppose, when you consider how the senior team is going. A little bit flat at the moment. Confidence may be a little bit down, although you did say to me that even though things haven't been going well, the spirit's been certainly around the place.
It's been good, yeah, especially after 7 losses.
Let's go down to Crackers Keenan, who's got the man who had 26 kicks and no handballs, Brad Oborn.
They've been counting them, Brad. 26 kicks, no handballs. Now, I played against your dad. Your dad would be happy of that.
He taught me how to do that, so no, that's all right. Good win. Good win for the boys.
You had a pretty good game. You were a bit wasteful early in your kicking.
Missed a few goals, so I have to work on that one.
These are the worst conditions you played in as a young footballer?
Oh, no, we've played worse in junior footy, so it's not too bad. Good surface and that, so it's good to get a win.
You and number 40 seem to be talking a fair bit to each other.
Oh no, just having a chat.
Yeah,
Good bloke.
He didn't mind. You don't mind a goal. It's sort of you inherited that.
Yeah, no, my dad taught me how to kick a goal, so he said you got to enjoy him. So yeah.
You played pretty well. I better let you get over there and enjoy the other blokes. Look after yourself and handball once every now and then.
Thanks, Crackers.
That's unfair. Look, he had a terrific night, and
he did.
And I think his dad, Roddy, should be quite proud of him, because I thought in the conditions, finding the ball's hard enough, as I said earlier, but certainly in conditions like this, I thought it was a terrific effort. 26 touches, 5 marks, and I'm going to throw a handball in there because we might have missed it, Donners, and I know our stats can be a little bit haywire.
No, our stats are never, ever haywire. They are spot on the money.
But 2 goals, 5 is virtually 17, is a little bit over half of what Coburg Fitzroy managed for the whole evening.
Let's go to our break before we head into the rooms. The Magpies, big winners out here at Waverley Park over Coburg Fitzroy. Monday night football on C7 Sport. And the final margin, 63 points. So the final scores at Waverley Park. Collingwood 13-16, Coburg 4 goals 7, Nick Davis 3, Johnson and Oborne 2 each for Collingwood. And for Coburg Fitzroy, Ryan got 3 of their 4 goals and Canning was the other goal kicker. Well, let's see if the Collingwood hierarchy was happy with that winning margin at the end. Here's one of the assistant coaches, Dean Laidley, down in the rooms with Crackers.
Dean, a pretty good win. You would have been happy in the conditions?
Well, look, it was very cold and blustery and raining early, but it turned out to be quite a still but very cold night, and to come away with the 10-goal win was very good. Coming off the bye last week, we had a pretty good bunch of kids to pick from, and look, they played particularly well tonight.
How does it work with you two? There's 3 of you to coach.
Well, look, there's 3 of us, and what we do is just rotate it around because the 4 of us, including Mick, do all the games, and we rotate it around because it's a pretty heavy workload, and because it's a different competition and it's on both days, it allows you to concentrate on both roles rather than just the VFL side every week.
Now, what about Zavrocker? He played pretty well. Has he popped his name up there? Let Mick have a look at him.
Well, look, he did play pretty well tonight. Early, pardon me, he took a little while to get into the game, but he's very smart and he really did stand out tonight. Yeah, he played pretty well.
Not giving much away, are you?
No, you can't in this caper. But look, there's probably a number of guys that put their name up tonight, and we've got to sort of sit down and pick a side. We, played pretty well in the first half of the seniors on the weekend, and fell away in the third quarter and sort of fought back again, and then let them sneak in front with Buddha taking that mark.
I better let you go. Okay. Thanks for that very much. Back to you, Peter, and a very, very happy assistant coach, a rotating coach, actually.
That's easy for you to say, Crackers. Yes, they've got a few of them down there, and Bradley Gotch and Michael Broadbridge was the man in charge tonight as we take a look at some of the highlights of this game tonight. And I think Dakes Collingwood will be pretty happy walking away with a 10-goal win.
Well, they will. I suppose it's the old footy adage of, a win, any win is a good win. And look, when you consider the way the club's been going, and look, let's separate it. I suppose seniors to the reserves. Look, they're aiming for, you've got to give them some goal to aim at, and their goal would be to try and play finals football at the moment. And at the end, if they're doing well, the team's winning, the bonus in the end will be a game of football in the senior team.
Well done to young Canning too in the last quarter. He got the ball down a couple of times, Ben Canning, and Sean Ryan was able to finish it off. But Collingwood just had far too much system in attack, and it was evidenced here with Brad Oborne.
Yeah, and really the lead-up play, Tyson Lane. I think the key to Collingwood's game this evening were... I think Simon was a lot of the senior players. You had guys like Gavin Kosiska, you had guys like Tyson Lane out there, Stephen Patterson was out there, and I could probably name another 1 or 2. Heath Scotland's had senior experience. So in the end, in the conditions, really they were able to readjust probably after 10 minutes in this game of football, and really there's no substitute for experience.
No, that's right. We've been pretty well served all year actually by experienced players, and as you say, that has a tendency to rise to the top over the course of a match, and it certainly helps with the result tonight.
Good mark by Jeremy Sharp, and to end our highlights, there's the ladder as it stands, and as we told you earlier, Collingwood now progresses up into 9th spot, having recorded 6 wins for the season, just outside the 8 on percentage. Coburg Fitzroy down there in, 15th spot after having won just the 2 games for the year. Next week, well, this should be a good one. The Borough against the Tigers. Port Melbourne versus Richmond next Monday night at Waverley Park, and that will be our featured game on C7 Sport next Monday. Simon Hawking, thanks very much for joining us.
I've had a ball, Peter. I'm numb below the waist, but other than that,
good on you, Simon. And let's hope that he does get into the senior team. Certainly get back and then into the senior team.
And you'll be in the senior team on Thursday night for Footy Focus. We'll look forward to seeing you then.
Looking forward to it.
And hope we have your company. Thanks for joining us. Monday Night Football on C7. We'll see you soon.